My name is... What? My name is... Who? My name is...
And I think he will be granted an appeal because appeals are mandatory in the state of Texas. The state of Texas Court of Criminal Appeals is an intermediate court, so it's mandatory. So he's going to be granted an appeal. They're going to look at everything, and I think there's a more than 50% chance that this particular verdict is going to be overturned because they excluded all of the black jurors. Now
What's going on? What's going on, Patriots? You're just locked in the Hood Politics where we always keep it 100. I'm your host, Jay. Y'all already know on this channel. We cut straight through the BS and get straight to the issues and the policies that hit us close to home. We talk about everything from elections to national debates all the way up to political podcasts. We throw some pop culture and comedy in there every once in a while because y'all know my motto, all politics all the time and give you brain rot. That's why I do it, so you don't have to. We start each and every one of them off sending out our thoughts and prayers, and we're going to keep the Metcalf family in our thoughts and prayers, family. So, I just played that, you know what I'm saying, because for some dumbass reason, this dude here keep putting out these little sparring videos between him and this lawyer right here. You know what I'm saying? Where he constantly keep getting filleted by this dude and constantly keep getting embarrassed. I don't know if he think that he winning, he coming out on top on these arguments, but just that thought alone is ludicrous. Just that thought alone is ludicrous. You brought a professional lawyer on there because you wanted a professional lawyer's perspective and opinion, and you wanted to know the law. Yet, you doing everything in your power, saying everything in your power not to accept accountability, just like the rest of the community. This is crazy, man. So, you know, disclaimer. I got a whole lineup of idiots popping up right now. Damn. 39 shot, 6 dead in Chicago bloodbath. Juneteenth. Black Lives Matter to who, man? Black Lives Matter to who? Yeah, but like I was saying, full disclaimer, man, I got a whole lineup, so we're going to try to get through this as fast as we can because I don't want this video to be that long. So I got a whole lineup of idiots right now who just don't want to take accountability, man. So we're going to start this one off. We already started off with Willie D. We're going to continue with this clown. You know what I'm saying? Because dude finna explain everything to him, and he just, you know what? Y'all just check it out yourself, man. We just going to check this out together, yo.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Now that the trial footage for the Carmelo Anthony case has been released, a lot of people who thought they understood the case are taking a second look. Some people believe that the new evidence strengthens the verdict. Others believe that it exonerates Carmelo, while others are still asking many, many more questions. I got attorney Dennis Sperling on to offer his professional viewpoint on this intriguing case. Dennis, have you changed your mind at all about this?
Willie, the only thing I did was explain how the jury arrived at the guilty verdict. That's it. Mm-hmm. The question is whether or not they had evidence sufficient to give rise to a murder conviction. And the answer is still yes. So we look at the video, consider the 20 people who testified for the prosecutor, the 4 people who testified for the defense, all the other physical evidence, the expert witness.
And people don't want to ask this question, man. How is it you got 2 teams out here, bro? You got 2 teams. So I'm assuming they all are somewhat matched as far as quantity. How is it that they only got 4 people for Carmelo Anthony who, once they testified, sounded like they was testifying for the prosecution? You know what I'm saying? People don't want to think about that. People don't want to think about that. You want to know why? You want to know why people don't want to think about that? It's because they know the truth. Carmelo said something and he had intentions to go over there and start some shit. Just keep it real. Everybody want to act like they don't know what this is. They trying to make it out to be something that it's not. And all this is school rivalry that went wrong. This was a school rivalry that went wrong. Carmelo probably told all his partners, yo, I'm finna go up under their tent. Fuck what they talking about. They better not say nothing to me. And you already know that ain't finna happen. That ain't going. Not with no school rivalries. High school rivalries, no, that don't work like that. That ain't grammar school or the little participation trophies. That ain't that. Those are real. Man, stop playing. Stop acting like y'all don't know what this is, man. Everybody know exactly what this is, and everybody know why Carmelo didn't take the stand. Everybody know exactly why they didn't have a whole lot of witnesses for his ass. They ain't have no character witnesses for his ass. And I'm gonna show y'all why they ain't have no character witnesses for his ass. But let's get back into this.
Witnesses. And the jury saw all this and came to the conclusion that the young man, Carmelo Anthony, was guilty of murder. That hadn't changed because the jury's verdict. My opinion hadn't changed because the jury's opinion hadn't changed. They saw all this evidence and then they came to that conclusion. We went over the statute in detail. Now we can piece this out and kind of figure out, well, what was the jury seeing? What did they see? What did they think? But we still we didn't have the benefit of sitting in the audience. Sitting in the jury pool and listening to all the evidence that was included. And that's the only thing that matters. So no, my opinion hadn't changed as to why the jury, no, I don't think this is an invalid finding by the jury. So it hadn't changed in that regard.
So you see the video, you're watching the video right now, and
I'm watching the video too. And is it me or did he just walk past 2 tents? Did he just walk past 2 tents to go to this one specific tent?
You see what's going on.
I'm telling you what it is.
People under that tent. You can tell there's a lot of people under the tent because the area under the tent is dark. And you can barely see any bleachers toward the top. But now you see to the right, that's Austin and his brother and their goons charging. Look like they're charging towards the tent. Like they're being really intentional, charging toward the tent. That don't say anything.
Watch this.
Willie, I don't see anybody charging towards the tent. Now you can say they're charging. I see some children, some young high school kids walking in the direction of that memorial tent, which is in black and gold.
But hey, these race betas is reaching so hard right now for this. They reaching so hard, I swear to God, bro, they arms should be at least 10, 20 feet long right now, as hard as they reach it. Did you hear this fool say they running toward the tent? You see, dude was like, man, oh my, this guy, listen. Shout out to this lawyer, man, for not calling him an idiot like he should.
I don't see anybody charging, Willie D. I'm just saying I see everybody walking about the same pace. I'm just saying, Willie D.
If they actually
hold on, Willie. This is why people don't like me now, Willie. Willie, I've been catching all kind of hell because of you. Look, on the show,
he won't be
no problem.
genuine.
And now all these people angry with me for telling the truth. It's the truth. I mean,
facts.
But here's the thing, though. Like, you're speaking from a legal standpoint, and that's why I brought you on, because I respect you speaking from the legal standpoint. I'm speaking from a layman's standpoint. I'm not the person going out here doing any extensive research, and I'm not a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I'm a layman, a human being. I'm a person. I'm a citizen of this country, and I'm a resident of Texas. And what I see is some bullies who accosted this boy who was minding his own business, and one of them ended up dead because he put his hands on him. Like, we love to talk about how people need to keep their hands to themselves, and we're all for anti-bullying until the narrative don't fit.
Did you see how he stopped running and started walking when people started coming? That's a that's a criminal tactic right there. He tried to blend in. He tried to blend in.
Like we wanted to.
Well, even if somebody's bullying you, if they're not bullying you and your life is not threatened, you don't have a right to use lethal force against them. If someone hits you, you have a right to use proportional force in defense. Willie, I mean, look, man, you and I both know that we have a lot of young men out there who, when they get afraid or they get angry, they overdo it. And that's the situation we're dealing with. It just so happened that the defendant in this case is black and the victim is white.
And that's what it all comes down to. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't even came down to that. You feel me? Because the Metcalf father went and tried to pray with the family. He went and literally tried to pray with the family. And what did they do? Talk crazy and toss his ass out and turned it all about race. You know what I'm saying? And made it all about race. And these people steady lying. I got Stephen A. Smith pulled up. This dude, he is a parasite, bro. Stephen A. Smith, you are just as much as a parasite and as bad for the community as the rest of these race hustlers, dude. This trying to be up and down the middle. I'm going to throw the right some and I'm going to throw the left some. Man, get your ass out of here with that, bro. You going to have to pick a side, player. You going to have to pick a side, man. We got Stephen A. right here saying something stupid because he mad Officer Tatum is telling the truth.
Austin fell onto Carmelo's knife trying to attack him because the knife is 3.5 inches. The cut was only 2. Loon, if I'm stabbing you, why am I going halfway with a knife blade that's only 3.5 inches? You fell onto my knife.
And see, this is how you know that they not even, either you deliberately lying or you not doing no type of research, like none. The transcripts is out, bro. You can read it. He plunged the knife straight through a bone, straight through the front and out the back of this dude's heart, of this kid's heart, bro. So explain to me how is it only went halfway? These people, bro. These people are parasites, man. They are not helping the black community. They are no good for this country, man.
Regardless, Loon, do you really think those 2 black boys who fell on that white boy's knife?
Time out, bro. I can't do it. I got to get my hair cut. My barber here fell on a knife. There ain't no human being on planet Earth out of 21 witnesses said that he fell on a knife. Carmelo Anthony's defense isn't arguing that he fell on a knife. Nobody's saying that these black people cannot take accountability for nothing. Now the boy done fell on somebody's knife.
Welcome to the special edition of Straight Shooter, coming at you as I love to do, at least twice a week over the airways of YouTube, of course. Of course, you know my POTUS show is every Wednesday night from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over the airways of SiriusXM POTUS Radio. That was Officer Tatum responding to Dr. Umar Johnson, who was talking about what transpired with the whole Carmelo Anthony situation. You know, the kid, he was 17 at the time. He's 19 now. He was recently convicted of first-degree murder based off of, because in April of 2025, he fatally stabbed a fellow high school student, high school athlete, Austin Metcalf, in the chest during an altercation at a track meet in Frisco, Texas. A jury convicted Anthony of murder on June 9th and 10th of this year, rejecting his self-defense claim and sentenced him to 35 years in prison. Now, as we all know, I definitely had my reservations about that sentencing. I remember the case involving Casey Allison, who in May of 2022 was also a Texas high school student and fatally stabbed a classmate, Joe Ramirez, during a confrontation in a Belton high school bathroom. He ultimately was acquitted of murder and manslaughter, but convicted of criminally negligent homicide, where he was sentenced in June of 2025 to a maximum 10 years in prison. So he murdered somebody, he's getting 10 years. Carmelo Anthony murdered somebody, he's getting 35 years. And that discrepancy has a lot of people in an uproar and what have you. Apparently one of those people.
That's because they don't know why they think it's a discrepancy because it's not a discrepancy. Because see, nobody knows the context of what happened in that bathroom or how it all went down. But I guarantee it probably went something like this. Shorty probably was getting his ass beat. You know what I'm saying? And Shorty picked up the knife, pulled out his knife and got dude up off of him. He probably hit a main artery or something. Shorty probably bled out, you know what I mean, and died. And the kid probably was way remorseful. He probably was sick to his stomach, probably all of that. Nobody knows. So that's why it don't make sense for y'all to keep bringing this case up. That's why it's disingenuous for you to keep bringing this case up, bro, because nobody knows the context. And this is not that. This was not a fight. Carmelo Anthony, the video is out, bro. Parasite.
People is Dr. Umar Johnson. Now, I listen to what he said there. And let me state this. I respect him. I respect the man. I respect his intelligence. Officer Tatum, I'm not going to emulate you. I'm certainly not going to disrespect Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm not going to call him an idiot or question his intelligence. I will say, however, he's definitely out there with the stuff that he was saying. I heard no evidence of Carmelo Anthony or Austin Metcalf falling into a knife. I heard no evidence of that whatsoever. And there were 21 people, who was considered for the jury. You know, you had your grand jury testimony and all of this other stuff going on. And there was 21 people that were talked to. There were witnesses that were in attendance. Nobody talked about Austin Metcalf falling into a knife. I don't know where that comes from. And obviously because of
Came from the woke blackity black.
how severe the penalty was,
The FBA.
35 years in prison, we're going to take into account history from an historical perspective, from a racist perspective, and we're not going to be uncomfortable with the discrepancy that exists between somebody like Casey Allison compared to a Carmelo Anthony. I got that part. But that doesn't give us a license to then turn around and to just come up with stuff that might have been, as opposed to listening to the evidence that was actually disseminated and making reaching a conclusion based off of that. Carmelo Anthony was quoted as saying to Austin Metcalf, "Put your hands on me and find out what's going to happen." To be clear, he was in a tent because it was raining outside at a track meet. And he was in a visiting team's tent, not his own. And Austin Metcalf was one of the...
And he walked past at least 2 other tents. So he had an agenda. Now, I'm not finna sit up here and say that this kid meant to kill this other kid. No, it's not premeditated murder, but it is premeditated assault, bro. He did go up in that tent with the intent to be on some bullshit. That's why he was sitting up there talking about y'all team ass, y'all team this, y'all team that. You know what I'm saying? Stop it, bro. Dude antagonized this shit. You can't. Anytime you got a chance to leave, you can't claim self-defense, bro.
The people that walked up to him and said, "Yo, man, you need to go to your own spot. You don't need to be up in here." And according to witnesses and Carmelo Anthony himself, he said, "Put your hands on me and see what's going to happen." According to a coach, in the aftermath of the incident, he walked up to Carmelo Anthony and asked him what happened. And Carmelo Anthony said, "Hey, he put his hands on me, so I stabbed him." So he told you what he was going to do before he did it. Then he ended up doing it. And now we're hearing all of these conspiracy theorists coming out here talking about this stuff, ignoring the evidence. Now, again, Officer Tatum, I'm not going to go your route because we can simply...
See, that's what I be talking about. That right there, that statement he just made, these conspiracy theories, man. No, it's you whack-ball, pro-black, racist ass leftists, liberals, who is coming up with all these lies. They're not conspiracy theories. They are lies. It's not like the right. It's not like what the left say about the right. All them conspiracy theories, and then 2 years later, they turn out to be true. This is not going to turn out to be true. This is not going to turn out to be true. So don't even try to gaslight your people like the rest of these idiots.
Disagree. We don't have to engage in insulting anybody here. You've got people that are emotionally invested because they see a system that they think is inequitable and unequal. And as a result, they react accordingly because yet another black kid is going down with a level of severity that isn't being shared by somebody who isn't black, but comes across as having committed the same crime. Now, there's different circumstances. One involved a fight.
Thank you.
That both volunteered to confront one another about.
How do you know
one
that?
Was getting the better of.
He don't know that. I gotta look this case up because I believe right now, I seriously believe that he is honestly making this shit up right here. You know what I'm saying? It did involve a fight, but as far as both of them, if both of them went in there to throw fisticuffs, bro, let me explain something to you and how the law works. And if both of them went in there to throw fisticuffs, man, and one come up dead, then murder is definitely on the table, bro. Murder is definitely gonna be on the table. So I'm gonna look this up. I ain't finna say that he lying about this part. All I'm gonna say is I think he lying. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm gonna look it up.
The other, ultimately a stabbing took place, a killing occurred, and as a result of that killing, Allison got 10 years in prison because of criminally negligent homicide as opposed to manslaughter or murder. Carmelo Anthony went the route of self-defense through the advice of his lawyers and ultimately ended up being convicted of first-degree murder. As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't a jury of his peers because there was nobody black on the jury. I got all of that. There's nobody black on the jury. That's not a jury of your peers, even though there's no law that stipulates your peers means that your ethnicity has to be shared. I do understand that. But I think it would be nice if you're going to call it a...
So if you understand that, why the fuck is you sitting up here talking about it wasn't a jury of his peers? All that, it would be nice shit, that don't fly in the court of law. It would be nice, Your Honor, if y'all allow some racist ass black people on here who ain't gonna be partial about the situation. Or impartial, whichever one. See, that's what they want. They want pro-black people up there. So on that way, that one or two black person, whoever they would have had on there, if they would have been activists as goofies like them, they could have sat there and did just hold out for weeks, months, till it declared a mistrial. And see, that's what they want. You see what I'm saying? They're not looking at what happened. They are in their feelings. Like he just about to say, it would be nice. Fuck out of here.
The jury of your peers, that it needs to be some people up there that look a little bit like you, that shares your pigmentation, your hue, your ethnicity. I think that's fair, in my opinion. But again, no laws were violated in terms of the makeup of that jury.
Thank you. No laws was violated in terms of the makeup of that jury. You know what I'm saying? And, y'all know this finna be political, right? They finna make this political, bro. You know what I'm saying? And check this out. Y'all gonna think I'm BSing because I just said that, but I promise you, when I was watching this video this morning, the one we just got through watching, the Stephen A. Smith, I say, man, they gonna make this ish political. I say they gonna make this political, bro. And soon as I flipped onto this racist ass dude right here, check out what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I want to talk about, our brother Carmelo Anthony. You know, that's still a major topic that we have to still focus on. Our good brother Carmelo, who's wrongly locked down. He is a political prisoner. We have to continue to fight for justice for our young brother. We have to let our young people know that we're not going to abandon them when the system tries to gobble them up.
Did you hear that? He is a political prisoner. I promise you, I did not. I know it might seem like, hey, yo, you already seen. No, I promise you, bro. It's like this fell. It just fell into play like this. It fell into play like this. I'm like, as soon as I was watching this, I'm like, man, this is going to be political. the Democrats gonna use this to run on talking about, yeah, the Republicans want to lock away black folks and throw away the key. What about Casey? And what about Carmelo? And then I say I don't even really react to this dude because I know he a racist. Tariq Nasheed, he's this FBA, Foundational Black America Leader, whatever the hell that mean. You know what I mean? But I don't even. But some told me, man, just click on it because I seen who are Carmelo new attorneys. So I'll say, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? And what he say? Oh yeah, he's our political prisoner. This young brother, woo, woo, woo. So he finna talk about this dream team of Democrat activists as civil rights attorneys.
We have to stand on business. We have to stand up for our youths. We cannot be like these old Sambos out here bucking their eyes. He did all that now. The poor little Metcalf. No. We don't. Our children don't need to see all of that buck dancing. Oh yeah, Clive Davis passed away. Yeah. I'll talk about that tomorrow. I get on that tomorrow. But as far as our brother Carmelo, new revelation, there's a new legal team, ladies and gentlemen, for Carmelo. Did y'all know that? There's a brand new legal team who's going to be working on his appeal. Did y'all hear about that? There's a whole legal team. Now, they're working pro bono. It's a whole legal team down there, and they're connected with the DNC. These are Democrat-connected law firms, which is cool. That shows the pressure of the black grassroots. We've been calling out the DNC.
And see, he ain't gonna explain this because I don't think he's smart enough to know this himself. They going pro bono. Pro bono mean that the family ain't paying for this. That don't mean that these people ain't getting paid. That don't mean these people ain't getting paid. They is fundraising for this right now. I can guarantee y'all. You know what I'm saying? Behind closed doors. Now, that's just my opinion. That's not a fact, but I'm guarantee you. Yo, Ben Crump is jumped into it. You know this ambulance chasing ass dude, he ain't going nowhere unless it's a payday. You know what I'm saying? So don't hear that pro bono. Pro bono just mean that the family ain't paying. That's all that mean. They finna do it for the family for free. That don't mean they finna do this case. They finna work this case for free. So let's just clear that up right now. Plus, that's something that just in case he didn't know that. You know what I mean? Maybe one of his followers can tell him that if they catch a glimpse of this video.
And the NAACP, all of these people that were somewhat silent during the trial. Remember, the DNC connected people, they weren't really saying nothing during this trial. All right? Okay? They weren't really saying nothing. So now that this brother got the book thrown at him unjustly, people are looking at the DNC like, hey, what's up? So now they made an announcement today.
Yeah, they looking at that
he has a heavy-hitting coalition specializing in civil rights, appellate law, criminal defense. They're going to be working on this thing pro bono. They got Gary Bledsoe from the Bledsoe Law Firm. They're a major player in civil rights law. He's currently the president of the Texas NAACP. All right? So many people believe his involvement is going to signal a direct challenge to the racial dynamics of the trial and the jury selection. I really need them to get on that. They're going to sit up there and get a white jury in this case like that and just excuse and strike out all the black jurors. That was some real janky shit they pulled. They got a sister named Brooke Clues, I think that's her name, and she's connected to the Ben Crump law firm. She's, from what I understand, recognized at that firm that's known for taking high-profile, racially charged civil rights cases. So that brings national media visibility and institutional pressure to the appeal process. You got this guy, Russell Law, at the law office of Russell Wilson down there. Russell Wilson, he's an expert in criminal defense and appellate strategies. You got Michael Ware, that's a criminal defense attorney down there with a strong background in post-conviction reviews. Yeah, some of these people are white, and some of these are YT people, by the way. It's black and YT people. You got Sean Dia, I think he's Punjabi. So they said he's a high-level criminal defense and appellate strategist lawyer. And it's interesting to see how this thing is going to go down. It's interesting to see how it's going to go down, ladies and gentlemen. But these are supposed to be some high-powered heavy hitters that's involved with the case now. These are supposed to be some hitters.
Some hitters. These people are race baiting, Ku Klux Klan pants so they can have something to fight against face ass. Man, you don't get your heavy hitter ass up out of here, man. These people is a joke, man. This is so exhausting, bro. Like this whole Carmelo Anthony thing, this is worse than the George Floyd. And that's what they trying to make this turn. They trying to make this George Floyd 2.0, 3.0. You know what I'm saying? These people are silly, man. They need to get their priorities in straight. Y'all check out my Adam Carolla video, man, because he said perfect, man. The left is batshit crazy, man. They batshit crazy, man. They took George Floyd and tried to make him a fucking martyr, a crackhead, meth head, criminal. You know what I'm saying? And now this kid, you know what I mean? Was he a bad kid? Nobody knows. I think he was. You know what I'm saying? Because when they talk to his peers at his school, you know, they said this.
Girl that we spoke with knew Anthony pretty well, that she says, and told us this.
I'm in shock because it's like, I wouldn't expect that from him. I only know him fighting and stuff, like, you know, but to take someone's life is just like a different life.
That this kid, you know, is everything that they saying that the Metcalf's kid was, that's exactly what this kid is. You see what I'm saying? They was projecting. And that's what the Democrat Party do. That's what liberals do. That's all they know how to do is project. Man, these people, this is exhausting, man. So I'm done. I hope I'm gonna try not to talk about this no more. You know what I'm saying? But this dude, Willie D, keep putting these little videos out, getting filleted by this lawyer, like he winning these arguments or something, man. And it's just irritating. You know what I mean? But like and subscribe to my channel. You know what I mean? Hit that notification bell so y'all know when I drop a new video. Follow me on TikTok, Hood Politics 5.1. I'm a big troll over there. All my TikTok family, I need y'all to get over here so we can, it's time for us to take over YouTube. This your boy Jay from Hood Politics checking in, and now I'm checking out, baby. Y'all know how we do it.
I denounce you in the name of Jesus. Every devil gotta flee. You don't have no reason. I'm bold as a lion. I don't fear no evil. Blood of Jesus on me. I'm covered. I'm